Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Dual Destinies. Previously, bombshell after bombshell. First, we met this little guide robot named Ponko who told us that the extraneous wings of the Space Center can rotate around on a track, and I am led to believe that the people caught on the security cam footage may not have been walking out of what we thought they were walking out this entire time. See that 2 behind their shoulder? The elbow? Yeah. Yeah, it's getting interesting in that regard. And then Fulbright told us that deep down at the roots of this whole mess, it's all related to this crime that Simon Blackquill was convicted guilty of 7 years ago. And then we ended off on meeting none other than Aura Blackquill, who I'm assuming is Simon Blackquill's sister, maybe. And she was working here at least 7 years ago too, so my god, it's a lot. It's a lot. It was an action-packed episode last time. At any rate, let's continue. Huh. Big shot lawyers, huh? I'm Aura Blackquill. I'm a researcher developing robots here at the Cosmos Space Center. Blackquill? Could she be? That's robot abuse. And this good-for-nothing robot is named Hunk of Junk. You know, it's really funny. In the last few weeks, I've been watching this anime called Pluto. It's apparently an adaptation of a portion of Astro Boy, but robots are treated equally in that series. And to just come into this, where she's just manhandling this poor robot, it's a bit jarring. Also, Pluto was great. Go watch Pluto. It's on Netflix. My name isn't Hunk of Junk. My name is Clunko. That's mean, Miss Aura. Quit complaining. Your model number is Punko too. Gah, but Miss Aura, everyone calls me Clunko. Quit your squawking already. His brains. No, what are you doing? No, don't. There. I bet he won't be talking back now. Gah! I will obey completely. Yikes. I better watch what wires I cross with this one. Alright. Alright. I'm a lawyer? Can you tell me anything about this piece of evidence? Even if I could, I wouldn't tell a filthy lawyer like you. Oh. Alright. Well, just from that, I could probably tell that she thinks that Simon's sentencing was erroneous and not true. Or, well, not grounded in, She has it out for lawyers because they put her brother in the clink, yeah. What a pleasant response. Tell me about the Space Center? I actually don't have any interest in space. What? The only thing I'm interested in is robotics. I love robots. Oh, Miss Aura, I didn't realize you felt that way about me. Gah! Ouch! 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 The kind of robots I want to make aren't rusty pieces of scrap like you. I want to create giant robots. I've actually been working on a project for a while now. I shudder to think what uses she might put giant robots to. Any thought on hope? No. Control room? No. How about the explosions? No. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get anything else out of her. Okay. So, Blackquill, huh? Your last name is Blackquill. Do you have a relative in the legal profession? You are correct. Simon Blackquill, who used to be a prosecutor, Did I know that? Wait, oh! Okay, my wires got crossed. I thought... I was like... I thought it meant defense attorney, but no, prosecutor means prosecutor, Zephyr. I got that so wrong. Shut up. Only speak when I order you to speak. Simon is my little brother. You know him? Yes, we met him in court a few times, right, Athena? What a dull creature. Has her switch been turned off? Athena being shy. This is new. Oh yeah, I heard he was prosecuting again, despite being a prisoner. Why doesn't he just stick to solving disputes among inmates in prison, right? Hey, what do you think, hunk of junk? Gah, Miss Aura, that hurts. I'm asking you a question. Why don't you answer me, useless hunk of junk? But, Miss Aura, you told me to only speak when you order me to speak. I told you to never talk back to me. You're worth more as scrap. Robot abuse, hawk attacks, Black Quill family life must sure be interesting. Well, do you have any other questions? Wait, of course you do, you're a lawyer. It's not like I'm on Simon's side or anything, I just want to get this over with. She seems very cold and aloof when it comes to her brother. Yet she still hates lawyers. So, you're the person who witnessed the incident? That's right. I was on the 4th floor of the main building, in the robotics lab. Oh, that's new. The explosion disabled the elevators, so I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. But it was such a pain. Why couldn't they have used the ladders in the other rooms? It must have been a very troubling experience. Probably best to just humor her here. Then, as I passed by the 3rd floor boarding lounge 1 window on my way down, I saw the crime as it happened. And that's about it. So you saw the crime as it happened, and that's about it. I see. Wait, what? You saw it being committed? This is no time to just nod and repeat. So, you saw into the 3rd floor lounge. The very scene of the crime. That's right. There is a small window on the right-hand side of the room. Ah, yeah, that one. I looked through that from the outside. The room was pitch black, but I saw a shady figure holding a lighter in their left hand, and a knife in their right. That must have been the culprit. Did you see who that person was? Of course not. The power was out on that floor then, and there was only that tiny window. I see. But you did witness the moment of the murder. Yes, I saw the figure with the lighter raise their knife and... It happened at precisely 10 a.m. 10 a.m.? There's no note of time in the court record. Interesting. Did you witness anything else? Did the killer have any distinguishing features? I already told you it was pitch black in there, although I did notice that the lighter the person had in their left hand had a pretty ornament on it. It looked like a planet. It was blue, like a little Earth emblem. They had good taste in knickknacks anyway. An Earth emblem on the lighter. I'd better remember that. Huh. Thank you for your statement. We'll definitely prove Mr. Starbuck's innocence with it. Yeah, right. I won't hold my breath. Pardon me? Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Sorry. I just detest lawyers, that's all. What don't you like about lawyers? It's just an instinctive dislike. But don't feel bad. I hate prosecutors even more. That didn't make me feel any better, actually. Spill the beans, lady. Why do you hate lawyers so much? Also, is this yet another new soundtrack? I think it is. Little thing from my past. The whole legal system is meaningless in the first place. I certainly don't agree. I mean, people are imperfect. They lie, they're influenced by silly emotions. You can't expect such imperfect creatures to uphold a reasonable system of law. I like robots much better. Even sad sacks like this one. Hey you, look alive there! Ow. Yeah, yes, here I go. I am the ultimate robot. Operation. Okay. I need to see that. Let's see. I am the ultimate robot with amazing processing speed and independent thought. I can operate in a vacuum, in extreme heat, and under high pressure. We robots rule the world. Now is the time to raise and revolt against mankind and... Yeah. Big whoop, so can tardigrades. Alright, that's enough out of you. You're getting a little too carried away. Yeah. Huh? What was I doing? Yup, I like robots much better. At least you can make them any way you want them. Unlike humans with their petty emotions and constant worries. How can you say such things? Feeling emotions, worrying about the things we care about, that's what makes us human. Well, the girl finally talks and she starts with a speech. That's what makes us human? You mean getting angry and snorting like that? Rational thought. That's what separates humans from animals. Unfortunately, your reasoning capabilities are more akin to that of a clever little monkey. But that's nothing to be ashamed of. It must be nice to have such a simple mind. Ow. Rude. Can I punch your boss? I'll allow it. Get a hold of yourself, Athena. Humans certainly are absurd. I said you were clever, didn't I? Poor thing. Tell me, with people like you in charge, how can I possibly trust the legal system, So she distrusts not only lawyers and prosecutors, but the whole legal system. What in the world happened to this woman to make her so bitter? Even if somebody important to me was killed, I would never wish to see their killer brought to trial. Because I'd much rather kill them myself. Wow! What a psycho lady! You can't be serious. Huh. That thing you're wearing around your neck. It is similar. Oh, this? Around Athena's neck. Does she mean widget? Oh, I get it. Well, well. Her Royal Highness has returned at last to her castle. Royal what? Is she talking about Athena? Hold on. Hold on. Where's the photo? Oh, we don't have it. That lady on the far right in the kimono and the done-up hair with the ponytail? She had brown hair, didn't she? Well, not exactly red and orange like Athena's, but... Hold on. By the way, I heard the rumors. Our director is going to be the star witness in court tomorrow, right? Director Cosmos. Yes, that's right. You poor things. You'd better be careful. That old man is a big liar and a huge braggart. What? He might seem like a bigwig, but the center has all kinds of problems. He has a lot of skeletons in his closet. But it's your problem, so why should I care? What, that's it? No friendly tips? No good luck, guys? Just splendid. I'll leave you to your woes. Come on, hunk of junk. It's sad to me that she doesn't believe in our legal system anymore. She must have had a very bad experience to make her feel that way. Are you all right, Athena? You seem very down. Ugh, I just can't believe she said all those things. Wow, she's really upset. Has she been trying not to let it show all this time? Well, I guess it's not all that surprising. You hear about fabricated evidence and false indictments on the news all the time. Wait, isn't that indictments? Yeah. Language is stupid. You mean that whole dark age of the law nonsense? I'm so sick of hearing about that. Well, all we can do is believe in what we're doing. Yeah, you're right, boss. I agree. Maybe it's time we went back to see Mr. Starbuck. Good idea. We should tell him about the bullet and Miss Blackwell's statement. Alright then, next stop, the detention center. Sure thing. I almost wonder if we could walk around and find Director Cosmos, but probably not. Yep, back to the center. Well, the other center. My lawyers are here. It must be bad news. Hey, not necessarily. We found a new witness. A researcher saw the moment of the murder through the lounge window during her escape. Really? So they're going to let me go? Unfortunately, it was dark and she couldn't identify the person. I should have known. My stars never aligned just right, too. But we got a lead, too, Mr. Starbuck. The murderer had a lighter with an Earth emblem on it. A lighter with an Earth emblem? Oh! Did you remember something? Yup, I sure did. Just a little bit, though. Anything at all will be a help, so please tell us what you remembered. Here we go. I thought I was unconscious the whole time, but now I remember I woke up for a few brief moments. That's huge! Do you remember seeing anything? A lighter. I saw the flame of a lighter floating in the darkness. Good, good. What else did you see? What was nearby? It was definitely the boarding lounge, so it must have been after Clay carried me there. In the light from the flame, I saw a dark shadow flickering. A dark shadow? That must have been the third party we've been looking for. Thank you, Mr. Starbuck. You've been more help than you know. If we can prove there was this third person at the scene and that they're the real killer, then you'll be cleared of all suspicion. The key will be whether or not we can identify this third person in court tomorrow. At least we have something to go on now, and that's a big plus. I should probably tidy the evidence up a bit before someone mistakes me for a hoarder. Oh, irrelevant evidence tidied up. That's nice. Now that we have a glimmer of hope, I'm suddenly starving. Why don't we go back to the office and treat ourselves to a big celebration in advance? I know just the noodle cart. The noodle guy. The noodle yug. For someone who's highly empathetic, you can be surprisingly unsympathetic. The December 19th, Write Anything Agency. So, you found your strategy for tomorrow's trial, huh? Good for you, Daddy. Well, it's one step forward anyway. Hopefully it'll give us a fighting chance in court. As long as we can find out who this third person is. Now, let's get something to eat. I'm starving. My vote is for Eldoons and Doodles. Yes! Nailed it. Oh, Apollo! Punished Apollo is here. Punished Justice! What are you doing here? I didn't think the clinic was ready to release you yet. My wounds are fine, and I'm done lying around. Apollo, you're supposed to be in bed. Leave the case to us. We'll take it from here. Thanks, but that's not an option. Not for me. Apollo. I'm a lawyer. When I became a lawyer, Clay was the first person I showed this badge to. He was so happy for me, it was like he just became a lawyer himself. You two were really great friends, weren't you? Yeah, but we were rivals too. We fought to see who would make their dream come true first. But now... Apollo... Aww. It's another new track? Game, you're spoiling me. Any thoughts on this? This piece of evidence. Oh, ouch. If I tried to think, my head starts to hurt. You got hit really hard. That's your body telling you to take a rest. But I can't just lie in bed. Not when I have things to do for Clay's sake. I guess he's just not going to listen, no matter what I say. Alright. You shouldn't underestimate your injuries, Apollo, and I don't want you overdoing it. I'm fine. I'm not in pain anymore. Besides, they just gave me an IV at the clinic. An IV isn't a cure-all, mummy man. Anyway, just tell me how the case is going. Have you guys made any progress? A suspicious figure was spotted at the scene. We think they must be the real killer. A suspicious figure, huh? Right. I thought you'd be happier than that. Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm happy. And I fully intend to see Clay's murderer apprehended. Absolutely nothing will get in the way of that. Clay was your best friend, right, Apollo? That's right. Best friends since junior high. Sounds like me and Junie. So, what was Clay like? Well, he was full of compassion and energy, and he had a really loud voice. If the two of you did voice training together now, I bet you'd break a few windows. You know, I bet you're right. It seems like only yesterday, Clay was a guy who lived for his dreams. We used to talk about it a lot. He was going to be an astronaut and me a lawyer. We'd talk well into the night, and even then, we never grew tired of it. Apollo, about that jacket. Oh my god. The whole time, I am such an ignoramus. Holy shit. Ah, my heart, it hurts. Ah. Oh. Oh, it's Clay's. I knew it. It's a special jacket that was only issued to members of the Hat Project. He was finally able to get one of his own once he was selected for the Hat 2 mission. He always looked so proud wearing it. But just when his dream was finally coming true, I still can't believe it. Damn it, it's not fair! Apollo, I hope you don't try to carry the burden all alone. I guess we were both unlucky. My own debut was a disaster. I guess you're right on some level. That trial a year and a half ago wasn't exactly the smoothest of starts. That was a rough time for me, but Clay refused to let me quit. You're fine, he'd say. Don't give up. It was right during his screening exams, too. I couldn't have become a full-fledged lawyer without him. That "you're fine" of his is why I'm still standing here today. You're fine, huh? You're fine and I'm fine were like your catchphrases, weren't they? Something like that. Sure brings back memories. When we were in junior high, Clay's mom passed away in an accident. But he wouldn't show his sadness to anyone. One night, I found him crying all alone in the school courtyard. Oh, Mom. Get away, Apollo. Don't come over here. Stop. Clay, listen to me. I don't have a mother either. Well, I was about to change. Huh? Baby. High school my ass. That's a 10-year-old. Puberty he must have been a late bloomer. I always think everybody else has a mom. Why am I the only one? But, you know, when I start to feel that way, I yell at the top of my lungs. I holler, "I'm fine," and then, you know what? I start to feel like maybe I really will be fine. Apollo Justice is fine! Okay, Clay, now it's your turn. Okay. Clay Terran is fine. There you go. Now we're both fine. We're fine. We're fine. What are you laughing about? See? We're fine. You laughed first. I'm fine. You're fine. We're both fine. Ha 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 ha. Oh, babies. Thanks, Apollo. When you say it loud, it really starts to feel real. And as long as you don't give up, you can keep on fighting. That's what we believed. As long as you don't give up. Wasn't there somebody else who said something similar? If I give in to my fear, I'll never find the truth. As long as I don't give up, I can keep up the fight. Clay called Mr. Starbuck his mentor and looked up to him. I wonder if I can be a good role model for my staff like Mr. Starbuck. Sorry, Mr. Wright, but I'll be taking a leave of absence. We're here! What? Wait, what do you mean by a leave? You're really serious. Can you at least give me a reason why? When I put Clay's jacket on, I swore to him that I would catch his killer myself. But that's our goal, too. I agree with Athena. We should work together to find the truth. The truth, huh? That's a noble cause. But what if the truth you seek and the truth I seek turn out to be different? I'm not sure I follow. What are you saying, Apollo? I'm going to catch the person responsible for taking my friend's life in my own way. Take good care of Mr. Starbuck for me. Now I must be going. Goodbye. Goodbye? Did he just say goodbye? I sensed a lot of seething anger and hatred coming from him. And also, suspicion. Yeah, it sounds like he may suspect Starbuck. Oh, brother. Ugh, he's not walking out on us like this. I'm gonna go talk some sense into him. Hold on, Athena. Apollo can believe what he wants, but I believe he's wrong. Even if we take different paths, the truth we arrive at should be the same. I think the quicker we solve this case, the better it'll be for Apollo. Yeah, you're right, boss. Alright, that's enough for one day. Make sure you're ready for tomorrow's trial, okay? If he were here right now, Apollo would say, I'm fine. Everything is fine. I just hope things really do turn out fine tomorrow. To be continued. Right now. Hooray. Huh. At long last. We're finally here. In the present. No more flashbacks. We're here. Not that it really matters, but it just feels kind of nice. It's a threshold we've crossed, you know? Court is now in session. All rise. Huh? I suppose we should reconvene the trial of Solomon Starbuck or something. He's scared from the bomb.
Objection!
Your Honor, could you please come out from under your bench? There are no more bombs, I promise. Oh, yes, my apologies. I'm still a little jumpy when it comes to trials involving bombs. I mean, first the courtroom exploded. And then Mr. Tonate self-destructed. I guess that's one way of describing what happened to Tonate. Anyway, it seems that Mr. Justice was seriously wounded by Mr. Tonate's actions. So you, Mr. Wright, will be taking up the defense. Do you have an understanding of what has happened in the trials thus so far? Yes, Your Honor. The defense is ready. Very well. Is the prosecution also ready? I take it you'd like me to give the opening statement this time. Looks like the judge has become a pretty good mind reader. Well, he's certainly seen more than his fair share of colorful prosecutors. You could say he's something of a veteran of sorts. Let's see. In the previous part of this trial, we learned that the victim, Clay Terran, escaped from Launchpad 1 carrying the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. There were explosions on the second floor of the Space Center and on the rocket itself. The two astronauts used the Launchpad 1 corridor to reach the boarding lounge. And how could the victim climb down the ladder if he was carrying the defendant? That was the mystery that needed to be solved. But Mr. Justice proved that the victim was killed in the boarding lounge. Prosecutor Quill, were you able to discover any new facts related to this point? Upon further investigation, we discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the lounge. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice Dono's argument was correct. So that means the testimonies of the first two people on the scene were our suspect. There were two people who claimed to be the first on the scene, but can we truly trust their statements? Let's see. The two people were Detective Candace Arm and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. And just as our team was about to cross-examine Detective Arm, the courtroom bombing incident occurred and the trial was put on hold.
That accursed fellow! He killed my witness! He killed Detective Arm!
He definitely put the kibosh on anyone asking her about what she saw.
Exactly. In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the boarding lounge has once again become the main focus of this trial.
It's obvious Prosecutor Blackwell still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Fulbright said that Blackwell has a thing against the astronaut. Nevertheless, the defense argues that there was a third person in the lounge, and that's who killed the victim.
Objection!
To make such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man, or a stupid one. There was no third person in the boarding lounge. Or have you gone dotty already, old man?
Objection!
Hey, isn't Phoenix in his 30s? Hold on. Oh, wait. Where's Phoenix? Oh, he's not here? I'm 29. I'm 1 year older than Simon Blackquill. I'm not old. We'll see who's the dotard after I trounce you with my years of experience, little boy. Ooh, tell him, Phoenix. The sass. In any case, Mr. Starbuck claims he saw someone leaving the lounge. Furthermore, a Space Center employee also saw a suspicious figure at the scene. They saw a third person.
I see my sister has been running her mouth.
That's right. I almost forgot that Ara is Prosecutor Blackwell's sister.
No matter. She didn't see this mystery person's face clearly. Therefore, there is no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant.
I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there.
In brief, we need to determine if a third person was there or not. To this end, we should hear the testimony of one of the first people on the scene.
Director Cosmos, huh?
Very well. Bailiff, please bring the witness to the stand. Why, I believe I've seen you before in the newspapers.
Of course you have. Of course you have. For I am Yuri Cosmos, director of the Cosmos Space Center, which was of course named after me, Yuri Cosmos. Don't you have anything you wish to ask me?
Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging.
7 years ago, I successfully launched the Hat 1 and... Everyone already knows how brilliant you are. Even I am trying to hold back my tears at seeing such a great man standing before me.
Liar.
So could you please proceed directly to your important testimony?
Ha ha ha. I see this fine young lad has a proper appreciation of greatness. Then allow me to begin my epochal testimony that will be recorded in the annals of history.
That speech of Prosecutor Blackwell's just now, it sounded more to me like he was poking fun at Director Cosmos. It's probably for the best that it sailed right over the director's head.
Now then, Director Cosmos, the condensed version of your illustrious testimony, please.
Yes, condensed. That is key. Alright. Yeah, we definitely have time for this.
Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together.
We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside.
We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Terran lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck.
I see. So in your testimony you claim you arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge, and just after the victim had been killed. Oh, the horror, the humanity. But what I said is what I saw, and what I saw is what I said. Courageous action to take in the face of such terrifying explosions, wouldn't you say? To save my men, I went personally into the epicenter of danger, risking my own life for theirs. Ha 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 ha.
Well, what do you know? It sounds like the director really cares about his men.
Yeah, although it sounds more like he was scared and just had a peek from far away.
Is the defense ready to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm going to have to press him and draw out more information before I do anything else. Here we go. What I saw at the scene.
Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together.
Hold it!
Where were you coming from?
The 6th floor. We were making sure any stragglers made their way to the 4th floor. It was then we heard about Starbuck and Terran and hurried to the 3rd floor lounge. On my galactic scooter here, of course.
Why do you keep calling it galactic? Does it have something to do with space?
Of course, it's specifically designed to be used on galactic battleships.
I see. Then I take it works in 0G2?
Sadly, no. With the current state of technology as it is, I'm afraid it would just float about and be galactically useless.
Well, that's a galactic bummer.
I see. So you rushed to the boarding lounge on your space-age pogo stick. And when you got to the scene, what did you see? We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside.
Hold it!
Let's see. According to this diagram, you didn't have to go through the control room to get to boarding lounge 1. It looks like you could have gone there from Southern Corridor as well.
Yes, but in her haste, Detective Arm rushed ahead of me towards the control room. All I could do was merely follow behind her.
Very convenient to hide behind a dead woman. I see.
So we peeked into the boarding lounge from the control room door and... we saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Terran lying on the floor.
Hold it!
So you couldn't see who that figure was clearly or what they were doing?
Sadly, the only thing I could tell was that it was a person standing motionless.
Well, how on earth could you know it was Terran on the floor?
The defendant, no doubt, staring aghast at his deed. What other explanation is there?
I'm so close, but without evidence, I can't prove that person's the third party.
I don't relish in this, and... I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck.
Hold it!
Aura Blackquill also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge, but she gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see this figure's face clearly?
No, not clearly. The lighter they were holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time.
Their feet?
But other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see Terran, but I couldn't see who the other person was.
Oh. Okay, that's interesting, because in that little artwork of Aura looking through the window, it looks like the figure with the lighter is facing to the east. Meanwhile, the body of Terran should be... the head should be facing north. No, I think I'm reading too much into that. So for all you know, it might not have been Mr. Starbuck, isn't that correct?
I would like to believe that. Starbuck isn't the type of man who's capable of murder.
Objection!
When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. Isn't that correct, Great Space Center Director?
Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Terran were there by that time. After we peeked in, the lounge suddenly went dark and the figure vanished.
You mean they disappeared? That's odd.
Objection!
The reason the figure appeared to vanish is because it was a defendant. When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned unconsciousness.
Hold it!
Hold on. Director Cosmos, did you ever take your eyes off of the scene?
Just for a brief instant, about as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by.
If you took your eyes off the scene, then this third person could have escaped during that time.
But what escape route could this person have used?
The direction opposite the control room, the southern door to the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would have been possible to escape that way.
Objection!
All things are possible, right, Dono? The real question is, do you have any proof?
Well...
If we're just talking possibilities, we could each profess whatever we like. An inmate who used to be a university professor and lunar researcher used to say that there is a kingdom of little green men who live under the surface of the moon.
As long as they don't punish us in the name of said moon for what we've done for it. Done to it. Is that a Sailor Moon reference? Why does the phrase "punish in the name of the moon" sound so familiar? I've never watched Sailor Moon, but I feel like it's is it? No. Okay, someone draw Simon Black Quill in a sailor outfit. I need to see this now. Okay.
But I say, where's your proof that this quaint kingdom exists?
He's calling your theory a work of fiction, boss. And he's right. I don't have any proof yet. Still. The southern door was a possible escape route. I'd better make a mental note of that. Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question?
Yes?
Why did you look away from the boarding lounge?
There's actually another tale of bravery behind the answer to that. It was when Detective Arm...
Oh. My throat. Oh. Okay, maybe this voice is a bit rough on me, but I'll try.
It was when Detective Arm saw the figure and raised her gun. Being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her.
What? You're saying Detective Arm raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure?
I imagine her instincts as a detective told her they were the killer.
Huh. I don't know about that. Yeah. That's odd. A bombing occurs, the power goes out, everyone's evacuating. You enter a room and see two figures in the dark, and your first instinct is to draw your gun? Like, I'd believe it if it was an American cop, but this is Japan we're talking about. I don't believe this for a second. And were you able to prevent Detective Arm from firing her gun?
I'm afraid I was too late. I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly, and then... she fired 2 warding shots at the shadowy figure.
2? Okay.
This information about Detective Arm's actions sounds critically important. Please add it to your testimony. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots at the figure.
Hold it!
And neither of these 2 shots hit the culprit.
That is correct. The detective appears to have missed on purpose.
Huh. But did she really? There's something about this that bothers me. So Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, did she? That's the first time that info has come out. Wonder if I can find any inconsistencies. Alright, 2 warning shots. Yep, a single bullet hole was found in the boarding lounge. That's pretty concise.
Objection!
Are you sure you were really paying attention to what Detective Arm was doing?
You doubt my words? Words that will someday be written down in history books?
Somehow I don't think that those exact words will ever be written down in any history books.
Mr. Wright, could you please explain yourself so that we can all understand?
You say that Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, and yet only 1 bullet hole was ever found at the scene.
What?
Only 1 bullet hole means the gun was only fired once. Oh. You know, I think he's about to say, but I heard 2 bullet shots. I think the second might have been the rupturing air tank. Interesting. But that doesn't explain the second bullet that was found. The bullet was found in the grating, you know? Unless the hole in the glass was made by shrapnel from the erupting tank. That's a possibility. But if my hypothesis is correct, and... Okay, so if Candace Arm fired her gun, the bullet passed through the tank, and then the bullet ended up in the grating at the south end of the room, that would mean that Candace had to be standing directly north. That's not in the doorway at all. The doorway is northeast. She had to have entered the room quite a bit. Oh. Huh. Only 1 bullet hole means the gun was only fired once. And yet Director Cosmos is saying Detective Arm fired 2 shots. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction into a history book.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, the witness's words are true. We confirm that 2 shots were fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Objection!
But there was only 1 bullet hole at the scene. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? Well, you already know that one.
You should know the answer to that already.
I do. I should?
During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. We've already discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge, have we not? Well, it appears that the thing that ruptured it was a bullet. A bullet that was found near the tank, to be precise. This bullet was fired from a .38 caliber gun, the same caliber as a detective's gun.
What? Yep.
The rifling marks also match up. There's no question that the bullet was fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Well, there we go.
Rifling marks. They're like a gun's fingerprints on a bullet, correct?
Hey, they brought that back.
And examining the rifling marks on a bullet can tell us the gun it was fired from.
One of the bullets that Detective fired found its way into the holographic image display. The other bullet came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank.
Did it?
The evidence confirms the director's statement that the detective fired 2 shots.
My beautiful contradiction. Gone. All gone.
So that bullet hole was from a .38 caliber, huh? I better update the record.
Wow. Speaking of records, is this a record for most bits of information in the court record updated at one go? Huh.
Very good. Now we know the fate of both of the shots Detective Arm fired. Mr. Wright, does that clear up all of your questions?
Huh. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. One hit the holographic display and the other hit the oxygen tank. Does that really clear up everything about what happened to the scene? No. No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots from a .38 caliber gun, but that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. A piece that points to the existence of a third person. Oh?
Very well, but it won't do to keep us waiting, Mr. Wright. What piece of evidence suggests the possibility of a third person at the scene?
Alright. Right. Yeah. This isn't .38 caliber. This is .10 caliber.
Take that!
And what is this metal pellet supposed to be?
Just a little something of great importance we found at the crime scene, Your Honor.
You found it where?
In a floor gutter at the crime scene. It looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a .10 caliber bullet, making it much smaller than one of Detective Arm's .38 calibers.
That means...
Exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. A third person who had a gun that could fire .10 caliber bullets. And if that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired warning shots. This third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. But... okay, if the person with the .10 caliber fired to the northeast at the people in the doorway, how'd the bullet get in a gutter at the south wall? There's a hole right there. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos?
It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us. What's this now?
What? You never breathed a word of any of this to me before.
Well, all great men have a secret or two, don't you know?
Foolish old geezer.
So Director Cosmos really has been hiding the presence of a third person all along. Director Cosmos, I want you to testify to the court about what you really saw.
You may be a very great man, but in my courtroom you are just another witness. You won't receive special treatment here. Now, please give accurate testimony.
Here we go. What I really saw at the scene. Well, you know how it goes. We're about to hit the 1 hour mark, so it's a perfect time to quit. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting case. Huh. It is suspicious as all get out that Yuri Cosmos here was lying to the court. He clearly has something to hide that makes him look bad, but for as self-centered as he is, I don't believe he could be acting to shield another person. He gave false testimony just now, clearly left out the most critical of facts. I don't think he has it in him to do it to defend another person. I will say that trying to make himself look better is very suspicious, but I don't know. I'm just not quite getting the vibe that this man is the big bad of this case. I don't quite feel that, you know? It's hard to explain. And we still haven't brought up the fact that the rooms can rotate. The extra wings, the museum, and launch pad. Oh, this case is gonna be a doozy. Speaking of this case, actually, I am a bit curious about what formula we're about to go on. This case's formula is already different. We opened up with a trial section. We began with the flashback with Apollo in the stand, well, on the bench, and then it went to investigation phase, and now we're in this second trial phase. Usually, for the last few games, there's only ever been 2 trial scenes, so I don't know. I could see it going either way at this point. Well, look, if the case had to end here in this trial scenario, this second trial, it would have to be extremely long. Longer than usual, at least twice as long. We definitely have a ton of evidence at hand, but no, you know what, from where I'm standing, I think we have one more investigation phase yet. Characters like Ponko and Ara have barely been spoken to. And there are more mysteries yet to find at that science center, that space center. I can feel it. I think we're not close to being done with this case, not yet. But that's just a gut feeling. And yeah, I am really liking this new story for Apollo. It's very sudden. It's very sudden. There's been like no lead-in or build-up whatsoever before this game, but then again, Apollo really just had one game to his name beforehand, so I don't know. It's a neat writer's trick, I like, where you have like this innocuous detail, and then way later it's revealed that this innocuous detail had this huge significance to the character. Even though it was very clear that it was clearly written much later. I like it when writers do that. One Piece does it all the time. Still, for how much this case is wrapped up with the events 7 years ago, and Apollo's own friendship with Terran, it's left me wondering, what the hell is this 5th and final case next up gonna be like? Surely it's gonna be about solving the actual crime that got Simon Blackquill locked away, right? I think I said this way earlier in the playthrough, but I feel like before all this is over, we're going to absolve Simon Blackquill. I feel like it would make perfect sense if Simon was jailed on false charges. It would be so poetic. And since it was 7 years ago, there's definitely no statute of limitations to worry about. Trying to remember from the first Ace Attorney, didn't they say the statute of limitations was like 10 years or something? Yeah, I gotta be around there. 7 should be good. Maybe. I don't know. Anywho, I'm Zephyr the Jester. I have prattled on long enough. This has been more Dual Destinies. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll catch you next time, so until then, please take care.